Hello everyone, my name is Amari Dobson. My partner's name is Faith Everett. We are in Human Nutrition and today we will be discussing Chapter 4, the carbohydrates, sugar, starch, and fiber.
We do not own any of the pictures or information used in this presentation. All rights are reserved to the authors.
The primary role of carbohydrates is to provide the body with energy. Carbohydrates are compounds made up of single or multiple sugars composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. Two categories of carbohydrates are complex and simple. Complex include fiber and starch, while simple is naturally occurring sugars. Towards the bottom of the screen, I have an example of the good versus bad carbohydrates. The good include whole grain oatmeal, green vegetables, and fruits, while the bad are refried grains, sugary cereals, soda and sugary drinks, candies, and cookies. The simple carbohydrates are monosaccharides and disaccharides. Monosaccharides make up glucose, fructose, and galactose. Food sources include fruit, sweeteners, honey, high fructose corn syrup. Disaccharides are made by bonding two monosaccharides together. Common disaccharides are sucrose, maltose, and lactose. Glucose plus fructose equals sucrose, which is table sugar. Glucose plus galactose equals lactose, which is milk sugar. Glucose plus glucose equals maltose, which is malt sugar. In the bottom right corner, I have a picture of molasses, cherries, and yogurt, which represent monosaccharides. The complex carbohydrates are starch and fiber. Starch is a polysaccharide made up of many glucose units bonded together. All starchy foods are plant-based. Having a staple grain provides most of the people's food energy. For example, in Mexico is corn, Asia is rice, and in the US, Canada, and Europe is wheat. Four types of grains are refined, enriched, fortified, and whole grain. To the right of the screen, I have a picture of starchy foods. And to the bottom, I have insoluble and soluble fiber foods. Guidelines for choosing carbohydrates. To meet nutrition goals and guidelines, it is recommended to turn to a whole food plant-based diet. Fiber carries water out the body. Too much fiber can cause dehydration and intestinal discomfort. Added sugars are sugars and caloric sweeteners that are added to foods. Reducing the intake of calories from added sugars is recommended. To the bottom of the screen, I have an example of added sugar foods and where they come from. A Coke has 33% of added sugar. Ketchup has 26%. A Capri Sun has 10%. Cereal has 5%. Candy has 5%. Cake has 5%. Cookies and brownies have 4%. Syrups and toppings have 4%. Low-fat products such as peanut butter has 4%. Table sugar and honey has 4% of added sugars.
Glucose is the human body's fuel of choice. We are capable of using fats and protein, but this is not sustainable. Digestion begins in the mouth, where enzymes in our saliva begin the breakdown of carbohydrates. Once the sugars are broken down, the endocrine system gets to work by regulating blood sugar. After a meal, when the blood sugar is high, insulin goes in and stores the excess in cells. With a balanced meal with carbs, protein, and fiber, you can prevent rapid rises and falls in blood sugar. Diabetes is caused by a perpetual state of hyperglycemia or high blood sugar. It could be that the pancreas does not secrete enough insulin or none at all, in the case of type 1 diabetes, otherwise known as juvenile diabetes. In other instances, the body is making insulin, but the body is no longer sensitive to it. This is called type 2 diabetes or adult onset diabetes because it is brought on by lifestyle habits. Hypoglycemia is a state in which your blood sugar levels are lower than they should be. This can be caused by hypersecretion of insulin or hyposecretion of glucagon. This is a rare disorder. Sugar has taken the fall for many diseases and disorders. However, there is no direct link except in the case of tooth decay. To become healthier, reducing the amount of added sugar is a must. Opt for fruit when you are having a sweet tooth rather than sweets like ice cream. Even though fruit has sugar in it, fiber and other nutrients are also present, which make them the ideal dessert. Because tooth decay is the only ailment linked directly to sugar intake, it must be kept in check to to maintain a healthy smile. Limiting sugar in the diet and brushing after every meal should prevent the bacteria living in your mouth from creating an acidic environment. Sugar substitutes have grown in popularity over the years. They are calorie free and are seen as a healthy alternative to natural sugars. The first artificial sweetener used was saccharin in 1879. Artificial sweeteners have gotten a bad reputation lately because of its side effects. It causes headaches and is accused of causing bladder cancer, although there is a study that proves no link between consumption of saccharin and increased risk of bladder cancer. Some individuals cannot consume artificial sweeteners called aspartame. It causes metabolic disorder called phenylketonuria or PKU. In extreme cases, exposure causes mental retardation in these individuals.